Welcome to another episode of Final Forecast with me, your host, Jay Flo. Got nobody here with me today. Ash isn't here. KJ is, I don't know what KJ is doing. Special guest today, two of them. He didn't get a lot of playing time at WB.
Which one you talking about, me or him?
He's taking over the reins of TBT this year.
Dang.
My man, Country Roads Trust.
Country Roads Trust.
Chase Harler is with me today.
Can't wait. This will be a great episode. Can't wait.
Oh, stupid producer Dave is still here.
I'm here. Stupid as
I don't
always.
think you're stupid, Dave. I love you. You're my favorite person with West Virginia.
I agree.
But special guest that we have, special guest, even more special than Chase. Coach at TBT for what, 4 years now? 5 years? 3?
This is year 4, man. I can't believe I made it past year 1.
Going into year 4. He's put up with a lot of the guys for the last 4 years. Glad to have him back coaching. Get us ready for this TBT $1 million prize, man. Coach James Long.
Thanks for having me, man. It's like TBT. I don't know why I keep signing up for this, but I just love you so much. So I just do it and sign up for whatever comes next. I just try and keep it, rational and realistic as possible.
Man, trust me, it's not me, it's Dave.
Dave loves the sound effects. Dave loves sound effects.
Yeah, things have changed since I've been on last.
Yeah, like what?
All the sounds, first off.
Sound effects sometimes work.
You're a father of 3 now. Congratulations. So
Appreciate it, man.
things are changing, man. Chase has like a full beard, so things are great. Things are great.
Come babysit for me, man.
I'm okay.
How you been, man? What you been up to? What's new? What's new in your life? You kind of went under the radar, man. Where you been at?
Off the grid, man. That's how I like it. No, I'm just down here coaching Davidson Day state tournament right now. Running player development stuff at the Carolina factory, and life is good, man. Just hanging out with my dog, my dad, my mom, my family. They're all down here, so just same old, man. Trying to get better.
So what, they down there visiting?
No, they all live down this way.
In Charlotte.
Yeah, man.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. When did they make that move?
Shoot, my mom's been here a while. I mean, probably since I was a sophomore in college. My sister's been here for probably 10 plus years. My brother's at Campbell coaching, and then my dad just kind of goes back and forth.
Okay. So what did you say, Dave?
Davidson Day. Home of Will Greer.
Okay.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man.
So now, does he come back, donate?
No, I don't think. Not that I know of. No. But they're good, man. We got a good team, good kids. Learned a lot.
Yeah, y'all in the state tournament?
State tournament quarterfinals, man. We won our first game, so we're rolling. Nice. We got a good little group, man. I would tell you come watch, but you're busy and you wouldn't do it anyway. So,
I mean, my cousin's from Charlotte. He plays at Hampton now. I mean, my nephew. Shout out to Donovan Raymond. He was nice. You didn't want him. You didn't want to work him out, but it's cool.
Is that right?
Yep. It's fine.
That's good. I miss this so much. Seriously, my life has actually been miserable without you in it.
I can't imagine. I mean, everyone needs their flowers, right?
Yeah, no, this is great. This is great.
It's so good when I bond with guests over our shared experiences.
No, it's amazing, man.
It's so good when I bond with guests over our shared experiences.
I do think that John is one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life, and he's like everyone on that Final Four team. They just love making you feel uncomfortable. And I'll never forget when John hit like his 17th 3 in a row in that one game. He just decided to learn how to shoot, and then he made some threes, and then they called a timeout, and he came up to me to jump up in the air, and do that, like knowing that was going to make me really uncomfortable because I don't do anything on the sideline, and he just did it anyway. It's just like,
I mean,
it's just a troll, man.
that's a big difference between like the Final 14, that chemistry we had. I just try to bring that to you, young bucks. You know what I mean? Because y'all didn't really have fun. Y'all was all about business. But sometimes, you know, you gotta have fun, man. You gotta relax
right?
out there. You know?
Who didn't have fun?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys had players fighting each other on the same team. You know what I mean? Like
I've heard stories.
No. It was on national TV. We were actually just talking about that with.
Oh.
Eberhard.
No, we were functionally dysfunctional. That's the way I put it.
Controlled chaos.
No, it was great.
Shout out to Tavon and
We had
Tariq.
my senior year, we had a very close team. It was the closest team I've ever been on, and everyone was super different, but we all really cared about each other. So I disagree.
Disagree with what? I didn't say you guys.
Your
didn't,
take.
I didn't say you guys didn't care about each other.
I forgot you guys were perfect. My bad. Hugs used to tell us all the time.
He did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
You speak to Hugs lately?
I've not. I haven't. I've been off the grid, man. I've been under a rock. I got a job in coaching, and it's probably the most time-consuming year of my life. So I don't talk to anybody. I'm actually very bad on my phone. I'm either coaching, doing my job, taking my dog out, or reading.
I thought about getting into coaching. You got any tips for me for high school coaching?
Yeah, normally I would tell people to be themselves, but for you, I'd probably tell you to kind of pull off on some areas. I would, maybe not be yourself because you'll get fired within the first week. But
what do you think I would do?
You,
what do you think I would do to get fired?
You would troll the kids the entire week,
yeah.
And you would do something that is probably not acceptable. But John, I think you'd be a great coach because deep down in your core, you really care about people.
That's why he started the AAU
program. Coach Hahn had an incredible part in your journey, helping you with your shot, and I think you really appreciate it, and I think you'd love to give that feeling to other people. So if you actually wanted to get into coaching, I think you'd be all right, man.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, I like you said, I like making other people feel good, like giving back to people. So I tried to add my brother on the TBT team last year, and the coach didn't give him any playing time.
Chase and I have had a couple conversations, and it's I actually do like a month and a half of work before TBT, and every time I'm like, why did I do this much? And then it's like, hey, we added 4 people to the team. Oh, yeah. And you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense because the way we're going to play, these people don't fit in at all, and you're trying to make me uncomfortable. So, good job. So you've done a really good job in your 3 years of our togetherness of having no plan and just going with the flow. And I'm definitely excited to have Chase and some stability to see what we can do.
Yeah, like Chase said, we started the Best Virginia AAU program. Kind of get back to the kids. Get that overseas feel to the AAU programs here, when the kids are playing under the professionals, so they'll be able to be around Tavon Myers, John Holton this summer and see how to be a professional basketball player. See some practices. Is it cool if they come in and sit through some practices, John?
Yeah, open door policy, man.
So yeah, that's looking forward to that.
I'll make sure we don't scrimmage on those days.
It's gonna be so. On a serious note, though, it's gonna be a little different this summer. I think this is the first summer Huz isn't around. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of uncertainty with the WVU program, which they always supported us each summer as far as coming to the games and stuff like that.
Right.
It's gonna be a little awkward. How are you gonna feel coming into that?
I'm gonna be honest. The reason I do TBT every year is to learn. I've been really hard on myself the past 3 times I've done it. I probably shouldn't have done it last year, to be honest. But I do it also just because it's so cool to be around everybody again. It holds a special place in all our hearts. But it just all the things being around Coach Tallman and Peyton and Stevie last year for an extended period of time, but then being back with your teammates and stuff, You don't really get that ever. Normally, it's like at your 20-year reunion or something, and you're all competing again. Like that's West Virginia is where I learned to be a competitor. Like watching Tariq, watching Wani, watching everybody compete made me who I am, and it's just really cool to. I mean, you don't get that 2 weeks with people you went through some of the toughest times in your life with. So, regardless of what the situation is, it's just good to get back and get a feel for what's going on, and hopefully, it's a great 2 weeks, 2.5, 3. But it's just cool to be back with everybody, man. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, I mean that's really why we all started it. You know what I mean? Just to keep the brotherhood alive. It's the reason why I passed on to Chase. Chase, what's your concerns for this summer? How's it working with Coach Long? Now you know what I go through.
No, it's been it's been fine. I think we started at a good time, and we've had conversations probably a month ago about kind of the approach we want to do. We've had 2 different ideas of playing styles, so that's going to determine the roster. I think we're kind of on the same page on how we want to play, and obviously, we started reaching out to guys. You know how difficult it is to get confirmed 100% yeses because guys are in their season. And, the off season is only 3 months, so they're giving up, like James said, 2 or 3 weeks of their time. So we put some feelers out there. I have a pretty good feeling about 3 or 4 guys right now. Obviously, that can change, but no, things are going great. We started early enough where I don't think we're going to be scrambling around with roster wise and the logistics behind it too.
Cool. Speaking of logistics, I mean, you got a big announcement you want to make about TBT? Any news? Where we playing? Charleston, Wheeling, Morgantown, Coliseum? Where we at?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Ooh.
They moved the region. They moved the region out of West Virginia, but I'm excited to go to Pittsburgh. I mean, it's not too far from us, and different environment, different vibe. Obviously, not being a host team has its downfalls and the logistics side of it, but we don't have too much control over that, so we're just gonna do what we can.
Enemy territory. Pittsburgh is fun though. I like it out there.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm excited for it, honestly.
Yeah, and I think it's easier for people to fly into.
Yep.
Guys have any idea how long? I mean, normally we do what, like 2 weeks of training camps and all that stuff.
It won't be.
Huh?
It won't be that long. I mean, we're supposed to play the 19th. I think guys will get in. I can't remember the exact day. I think we said like the 13th or maybe the 13th. They'll come in. We'll have a couple events throughout that. I guess training camp, you could say, exhibition game, golf scramble, basketball camp, working on a pickleball tournament. So we'll have some cool things going on during that little time period, with practices too.
You're working on a pickleball tournament?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Tough. Who's gonna be in it? Just
we haven't got that far. We got the idea of a pickleball tournament. We got to start putting some things into action, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure. Some fun things. Golf, pickleball, all sports I play now, and I'm retired. But I still can shoot better than James Long. That's all I really care about.
Yeah.
Anyways, last year, James, how'd you feel about the how we ended up last year? We won the first game. I got in, made some quick 3, quick 2, came right back out. I don't know. It was crazy last year. Last year was real crazy.
Those Jared Dudley end of his career minutes, man.
Who?
Jared Dudley.
Who's that?
Okay. Last year I felt good. They were good, man. I mean, you got Rob Gray, won Euro Cup. JP Tikoto played Tel Aviv. Tavion Kinsey's had an incredible summer league. I don't know what he's doing now. I'm sure he's good, but John Elmore's John Elmore. They had good bigs. Ja'Cory plays First League Italy. I mean, they advanced, and it wasn't surprising because they had one of the best rosters in TBT. But with all that being said, like for 2.5 quarters of the game, we were doing what we were supposed to, and we were winning comfortably, and then it turned into a madhouse, and it was the games flipped. But it wasn't like, that's two teams that have a game plan, and we did ours for majority of the game, and they played at their tempo, doing what they wanted to do, and they're really good at it. They won best rosters in TBT, and they have guys that played in it a bunch and together. So it was a all right year, but it'll be better this year. I think we have a good plan, and if we can execute it, then I feel really good about what we're doing. It's going to look different for sure. Is different good? I don't know. We'll find out. We have a plan, but you don't really know what happens till you get to that first game.
Chase played some pivotal minutes in that last game against Marshall. Was it something you were looking for him to do?
I play hard. I did my job, John.
You definitely did. You had a block, didn't you?
Come on, man. I probably did. I probably had 3 of them.
Nah, you play hard. Is it something you were looking for Chase to do out there in that roster spot when he was out there running around?
I think Chase is a guy that's always going to be ready if his number's called. And I think that he has changed the tempo of games. I think in the Civic Center the first year when I think he got a rebound at the free throw line or something. Yeah. We kicked it out for a 3. I mean, it changed the entire game. We were losing, and from that point on, we made a run and took the lead. So, I mean, Chase changes the tempo of the game. So, I mean, you know what you got with him, and he's a really good player, man. Known him since he was in high school. He played Wildcats.
Nice. Shout out to Brandon Napper. You guys talk to him?
I don't talk to anyone, man.
That's wild. But yeah, anyways. So this year's roster, I know a big concern, not a concern really, just like a big talking point is just how many imports that we're going to have as far as who's going to be on the team versus original alumni on the team. What's your thoughts on that, and what can we expect this year? Coach Long.
Yeah, I can talk on that. Oh, you got it? I don't care.
Coach. Chase, shut up.
Coach Long?
I'll say one thing, and I'll let Chase elaborate. I mean, the goal is always to have none, but, we've been close. We went to Dayton. We're trying to win the TBT, and if we think, a piece fits for what we're trying to do, then we're going to do it. And Jamel's kind of been, adopted into the Mountaineer family, and both years, he's got a family. He doesn't have a big break, and it's kind of been a last-minute thing. But, I mean, the goal is always none. And I'll let Chase speak to that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think we have our list of WVU guys we want involved, and we at least give them the rights of refusal. I think the roster size is going to definitely go down from years past. I think we've always had 12. Our goal was to lower that number by possibly 2. But yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, if I can get all the WVU players that I'm hoping to get, it could be a 9-man WVU roster, a one import. But we'll see. Like James said, if it makes sense, it makes sense. And I think this year we're really going to try to develop kind of the mindset and our style of play early, like we've kind of already been talking, and then pick the right pieces for that, not just add guys and to fill a spot we're going to actually look into it. And like I said, the goal is to have none, but in a realistic world, probably 8 WVU guys, 2 imports, or 9 WVU guys and 1 import.
Nice. Any imports you're expecting from last year coming back, or?
Yeah, I mean, we've reached out to a Quincy Ford. We thought he did a good job for us last year. Guys always want to be involved if they played with us before, but when the season ends, things change. And I know for me, Quincy was a great guy to be around. And when you're bringing in someone that's not a part of this WVU culture, you always not worry, but just see how they're going to react. And I thought he was as far as a personality fit, he was perfect for us and never complained, played hard, accepted his role with what we were trying to do last year. And I have no problem adding him to the roster again this year.
A lot of, how you guys plan on playing. Like I remember you just said you had 2 styles of play. but a lot of that is dictated on like what guys are actually going to commit to playing. So I guess my first question is, how do you guys plan on getting guys to commit to play? And I know sponsorships will come in handy and will help out a lot when getting guys to commit their summer to, you know, coming back to play. But it's
Go ahead. I think the first thing, and James and I have talked about this a lot, is just transparency. Is like, you know, when they commit, and the people I've talked to, I've already mentioned it to them. And you know, James can go into more detail about the style of play, but we plan on having an up-tempo offensive and defensive style. So being very transparent with the players and tell them this is kind of our goal and this is our vision. We're all in this together. You know, getting guys to commit, we've said it like 4 or 5 times. It's easy for them to say yes now, and then when June comes around, it's a little bit more difficult. So obviously, just, you know, continuing to reach out to them and making sure they are fully going to commit. But I think transparency. I mean, some guys don't want to do that in the summer, and that's fine. But you know, James can talk about the style of play and why that might cause some people not to want to get involved.
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you're trying to get somebody to do it and play at any level, it's like, you know, why can this help you? And with TBT, it's just more difficult because it's your off season. A lot of guys haven't signed contracts yet. So the guys that have signed and the teams are fine with it are the ones that are most likely to play. But like, if you have a contract on the line, are you going to do it? Some guys do it and it can add value to your career, and it does, and it's proven that it can do that. But, you know, for us, it's like showing them, being transparent, like Chase was saying, about how we can win the tournament, because everyone would love to make $1 million. And we are looking at a lot more youth now with the guys that just graduated, some of my teammates. So, like, obviously we're looking at pressing and playing up tempo and doing things like that because I think it could be an uncomfortable thing. I think it's something that could be really successful, but I think there's like a certain type of offense you have to do with that being said. And everything sounds good right now, but do the guys that say they're going to play, do they follow through and play? Injuries happen at the end of the year. People get home and they're getting with their families, and they're like, you know, I can't leave my family for 2.5 weeks. So, you know, it's like, what, you can't leave your family for 2.5 weeks? But it all makes sense. So, you know, obviously we have an idea now, and the idea I'd love to play like up tempo offensively and, you know, press and make it uncomfortable and kind of show flashbacks to what a lot of our success has been over the last 15 years with West Virginia basketball, and some of the best guys that have done it. You have some guys that can really dominate the ball. I think it's really important to have like a guy in the back that can protect the rim. I think that's probably one of the most important parts of it. And then got guys getting opposite like old times too. So I think it'd be really cool to play up tempo and quick, efficient offensive stuff. So it's a plan, but if there's one thing I've learned with TBT, it's to have a plan B and C and D.
So, I mean, Chase, a lot of your job is just, you know, raising the money for this thing. Talk about like how that'll help us out. And
yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize, and probably even some of our players that have been involved, how much really goes into this. I mean, we're recording this February 18th. Dave and I came up with our sponsorship packages probably 4 weeks ago. You know, I think we provide value to businesses first and foremost. I mean, our marketing with what Dave does and who the people he hires, it's incredible. You know, the kind of stuff you can put out there, and like I said, it's a write off for some of these businesses too, so it helps them. But obviously, you have to have money in order to do this, right? We have hotels, we have getting these guys into town, we have events, we have. And there's a lot that goes into it. So without the sponsors, it's literally, it's actually impossible. But I think we started at a good time. Like I said, just say, February 1, Dave and I met and had a plan. So, at the end of this month, we'll really start pushing it. But, all of our sponsors definitely help us as long as, with the events as well. But yeah, you got to have sponsors in order to make this happen.
Yeah. Shout out to Greg Richardson. He used to get out there and hustle and get those sponsors for us.
Yeah, Greg's back. Greg's back.
Oh, he's back? Tough.
Yeah, Greg's back.
Smart decisions. You're already making smart decisions as a GM.
Yeah, Greg's back. Chase. And yeah, we got a good crew.
Yeah, but like a lot of people don't know But like a Marshall team, they got big money, so they paid for a lot of their players. Like a lot of them got.
Yeah.
I'm hearing numbers. Like overseas number, I'm hearing like 15,000, 25,000, 30,000 for these players to play. So I mean, like it's kind of tough to compete with that stuff. You know what I mean? We're gonna be. The good thing about us normally is we got the alumni, and we already got that chemistry. You know what I mean? We're not just throwing together a bunch of guys. So hopefully, I mean, your guys' plan works out is getting the alumni back together. And like I said, it's always good just to be hanging out with the guys in the summertime. So hopefully it works out.
Yeah, I mean. I mean, we compensate these guys for their time. Obviously, not those type of numbers yet. But I think one thing we're going to do a little bit differently. I'm just going to keep it very broad. Is like I want to make it very, very clear that we're all in this together. So from a a financial standpoint with the players and coaches, like it's very, very equal. I want everyone to feel included. I want everyone to feel like they have a part in this, and not one person's above another because. The teams that really win this every summer are very connected from top to bottom. So I think that's a thing James and I have definitely talked about, our 2 or 3 conversations leading up to this. That's a very important part, and it just kind of goes back to the transparency of what we're trying to do and how we're trying to accomplish it.
Tough. James, any ideas about your coaching staff this year?
I think it's going to be different. So... Sorry, my dog's chewing a bone in the background, but I think it'll be a little different. I mean, it just depends. Like, I think Peyton has a wedding this summer, and Coach Tallman. I don't know if I think that's public knowledge, but but Coach Tallman, he's got family and all that stuff, so we'll see with him. But we'll have good coaches. I mean, there's plenty of alumni in the coaching world now, and it's something that. It really helps your career as a coach, man. Like there really is nothing. I'm not saying it's the best coaching experience in the world in terms of like, wow, this is more impressive than X, but like there's nothing like it. Like you don't have a season to prepare for a tournament. You play in the tournament. If you lose the first game, you're done. So you better have a good plan, and you better be able to adjust. And then the Elam ending is just like nothing I've ever been a part of. So it's a really good coaching experience. And every year we leave and like we look at the players and we hope we say, we hope you at least got better from this week or two. And so I think it's a really good coaching experience. So we'll be able to get some good people in there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like I just said earlier, I'm trying to be a coach. I ask you for any tips to being a coach. I mean, you could have just used it as an invitation to invite me. You know what I mean? Like, but it's cool.
We'll talk.
It's cool. KJ's not playing this year.
Is that official? Have we confirmed that? Because I have not talked to him, and I feel like I recruit very well because I pour my heart into it, and I'm going to tell you what I think, and I'm going to pour my heart out to Kevin and be like, "Are you sure you want to let me down?"
If you can get him, if you could get him, I've been asking him every week for the past.
He's like,
4 weeks.
I'm done. Dude, you had like 25 and 12 rebounds last year. What are you talking about? You're in your peak. You're peaking right now. Come on, man. Let's go. Let's keep peaking.
Right. I hope you get him.
I'm going to get it.
That's a big part. That's a big key right there. It's KJ.
It's just recruiting, man. You just got to pour your heart out to him. Tell him what the situation is. Be authentic with him. How can it help you? How can you benefit other people? Why does it fit? And it's all from the heart with me. So I think, if I can just get KJ's ear for an honest 15 minutes with an open mind, I like our chances.
I think the problem with KJ this year is that he actually had to have a real season and not just leave in March. So he's been gone a long time and doesn't want to play basketball now.
Dude, he's one of the greatest Mountaineers that has ever played there.
No one's disputing that, but he is also a big fan of napping and not doing anything.
He can nap. He can not do anything. He just needs to come play ball.
Should we put any pressure on some players, James? We really like top 3 maybe?
I say Gary. You got to get Gary back.
I want nothing more. Gary Brown would be amazing. I want nothing more than my boy Tariq to play. When I say I'm gonna put the heat on Tariq, I put heat on him in the past, probably a little too much, but we're gonna wear on Tariq a little bit. But we got Tay and
that's your guy.
Another one of his running partners. So we're kind of putting that peer pressure on him as well.
Yeah.
So Tariq, Gary,
I got one.
There's, if we're talking the Press Virginia thing, there's two people that come to your mind.
Javon Carter.
Yeah, I'll talk to the Bulls, but
like what?
I personally am so excited. Player me, coach me, is stay right here. Don't ride the highs, don't ride the lows. But player me so bad wants to see John Holden screaming on the ball at the front of the press that I'm very excited to see it. So I think the people in Pittsburgh will see something they haven't seen before with John Holden at the front of the press. So I'm hoping it can happen for player me. But I just really, to be honest, I would just love to see some of my teammates and some of the guys that have just graduated recently, really turn the heat up and see what happens.
Yeah, I agree.
What scares me about the press, though, is just we kind of have a nostalgia, you envision it, of it being what it used to be. It's like Backstreet Boys getting back together. That you think they're doing the same steps, how they used to do the steps, and they're doing the dances. And it just isn't the same. You're just a foot, just a step slower.
We're not bringing the treadmill out for TBT camp, and these guys also don't if there's one thing about TBT, people are not coming in peak physical condition.
Facts.
So we're not going to press off Miss Free. It's not going to look like what it did. So disclaimer, it's not going to be Press Virginia, but I think turning the heat up in certain situations could be really effective in the TBT.
Yeah.
After timeout stuff. Just different areas in the half court too. These guys are not going to be miss free throw and we're up in your face. Now, John maybe and Nate, but by the way, Nate, that means you have to play TBT. You're committed right now. You may not have accepted, but you are committed.
Nate's playing. Nate will play.
But that's what I think our first year in the TBT, Nate was just. After the free throws, he was just on. He just called the press in his head. He didn't tell anybody else. He was just up there on the ball, and then we got a few leak-outs. So it's Nate, you just say something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
mean,
like
he
that.
was also. You want to talk about not in shape? Nate Adrian, that first year was not in shape.
You mean last year?
You can't take it out of him, man. Yeah. Once the press is in you can't take it out of him. But he's going to play this year, and I also think it's one of the funniest things of all time that Nate got first team all Big 12 defense, because just seeing him on an island versus Jordan Woodard versus Oklahoma or Devontae Graham from Kansas used to be really funny.
But I think this is the first year. Is this going to be y'all era? I think it's all.
Yeah, we got a young team. Overall, they're not 23 years old, but we got a young, energetic roster that we want to put together, and all of these guys were a part of what we're trying to do with bringing back Press Virginia in some capacity. So I personally, like I said, we have a plan. It might not work, but I personally think once we start talking about it, it's going to get the juices flowing, because right now I'm ready to pick up 94. So I think age is going to be a factor, but I think we can pull it off.
Don't get your hopes up, Chase. And you get your hopes up, get ready to get in the game.
I might be that extra coach. And then I'm like Jackie Moon, coach, GM, player.
Get your hopes up,
and then Jackie.
And then James doesn't put you in the game. You or your brother. Anyways,
Chase is going to wear a suit with Velcro so he can just rip it off and go in the game to everyone screaming and cheering from Wheeling, making the trip down.
Yep.
Nah, I was happy for you last year, Chase, because you got to play in front of Wheeling, and you was out there running around crazy. That was dope.
That was my farewell tour.
But we don't have.
Playing.
Do you think? Do you think that not having those vets on the team will kind of hurt, me, KJ?
No,
I will. All jokes aside, it will. It'll be really different. John was going to be John every game, even though he didn't want to play in the second one this year. With KJ, man, there's no substitute for experience, and he just got a tough bucket when you needed one. When it was Elam time, to be honest, 75% of the time we probably threw the ball to KJ in his favorite spot. Things just changed, but that's why we're not gonna be able to slow it down and get people to their spots as much as we will dictating the tempo and capitalizing on mistakes. But it just depends who plays. Tariq's one of the best players in Euro Cup. Like if he plays, then you have different things you can do. And that's not to say we won't have a good team or we won't be able to do certain things if he doesn't, but it just depends on who plays and what your strengths are. But there's no substitute for KJ and I guess John a little bit.
I think you just keep saying Tariq feel bad if he doesn't play. I think that's the best approach, 100%.
Did he go last year?
I mean, if Tariq wants to let down West Virginia Nation again, it's up to him. I can't make him have a heart.
Yeah,
this would be the third time he's done this, right? He does it every summer.
Year. Every year we're like, we got him, and then just lets everybody down.
You know who's we have a new general manager though. We have a new general manager. You know, Tariq and I were teammates. We're good friends. Played, Call of Duty for the last 2 years together overseas. I'm gonna get the job done.
I watch film with him like probably once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The guy just
they just don't respect J-Flow.
Doesn't even play.
They didn't respect J-Flow.
Nah, Tariq is a great dude, man. I also think like if Mountaineer Nation doesn't know how good of a career he's having right now, like people should tune in because the guy is one of the best guards I've ever been around. Like he was. I tell people all the time, Tariq's one of the most underrated Mountaineers of all time.
Ever.
Like he came off the bench and different things like that, but there's nothing he can't do. And like they told the story about when Tariq was getting recruited and Hugs went to watch him, and it was like, what does he do well? And the coach was like, I don't know. Like, and he was like, does he shoot it well? And he was like, I don't know, kind of. Does he pass it well? And he was like, kind of. And he was like, well, what does he do well? And he was like, if you put any 4 people on that gym on Tariq's team, you're winning. And that couldn't have been more true with my experience playing with him and like how much I learned from him competitively. So I'm just joking around about hoping he plays. But like, if you don't know how well Tariq's playing right now and the level he's playing at, you should tune in because he's having such an amazing career.
Could we get a Sags? Do you want a Sags?
I'm just going to coach, man. I took the whole preference thing out after year 1. Like, I'm just going to coach. I'm not like John. I didn't put you again. I'm not trying to be your friend. I'm trying to coach. So.
James,
we're not shutting any doors. Like I said, it comes down to these guys wanting to come back and wanting to be a part of it. And Sags was a part of it for the first year, wasn't it? But I was with the team, but I forget what even happened. But yeah, I mean, Sags is definitely an option. I personally, Sags and can't forget about Big Logan Route, and you can't forget
Big Route, baby.
Big Route, and I mean, I think we might be able to pull Devin Williams. Maybe. I think Devin Williams would be great. He's having a hell of a career overseas as well.
Logan's kind of pissed at everybody. He got on the team one year, he didn't get to play a minute. So.
John loves bringing up playing time, but he puts 11 people on the team.
He puts a 14
three 9-minute quarters and a 4-minute quarter before the Elam in the 4th, and he wonders why.
Figure it out.
Are people getting it? I don't know, John, because there's only 31 of them in the game.
Figure it out, coach. It's not my job.
That's a smaller roster, man.
Yeah.
Smaller roster.
One day John's like, well, how come so-and-so's not playing? Then the next day he's like, don't worry about like if people are upset that they're not playing. He talks out of 2 sides of his mouth the whole time TBT's going on. So I'm just glad we have good management this year.
Yeah.
And we got a bright future, and hopefully we can progress this year now that we're under good leadership.
Yep. I can't wait. Till Chase gets in that hot seat. I cannot wait.
It does. The heat turns up at the end of June. When 3 people back out on you and you have 6 players.
Good. We'll take 6.
Then you're calling somebody from like Abilene Christian as an import.
The sponsors will be thrilled you're going up there with 6 players, Chase. Can't wait.
Right.
Can't wait.
We'll have 10.
He was working that Eric Stevenson pitch last night, so.
Need it. What was Eric talking about? How's he feeling? What's his temperature?
It's just really going to come down to Summer League because he'll be in part of Summer League. And
he was in Summer League last year.
He said he wants to be a part of it, man, but it's,
the blast
in control. But, I mean, we'll just shame him into it. I mean, that's kind of our approach. The approach is just make people feel so bad about themselves until they have to play.
Yeah.
Making your life would be a lot easier, Chase, like if we just had a bunch of alumni that weren't so, like, prissy now, and like they were just like all about it. Like, I'm coming. I can't wait for TBT this year. Can't wait to get back with the fellas. I can't wait.
That's the vibe. We're gonna have that vibe again. I'm very confident.
All right. Well, good luck. I'm rooting for you guys. I'll be around. I'll be helping Chase out in the background. Glad I ain't got to deal with none of that stuff no more. You know what I mean? But, good luck. James, can't wait to see you. When you coming in town?
Whew, I don't know, man. I need to get up and see you guys, man. My boy Coach Tallman. See everybody. I'll pop up there soon.
You ain't come up to support Josh at all this year?
Actually, I have 2 kids that are pretty highly recruited, and I need to bring them up to WVU. So I talked about bringing them up in March. I think Texas Tech or something. So I might pop up there.
Yeah, I would like to see them.
All right,
see these kids you got.
All right, for the clarity of the episode, TBT will be at the Peterson Event Center July 19th through the 24th. We'll be up against the Pitt team, Zoo Crew. Penn State is also bringing a team, the Happy Valley Hoopers. If you want to sponsor Best Virginia and be part of our journey and have your company with us all along the way, you can either email chaseharler4@gmail.com or finalforecast@gmail.com.
But all right, it's been another episode of Final Forecast with me, Jay Flo. Hopefully we can talk to KJ soon. I think he's trying to.
Should have brought him on now. We could have got that done. We'd have one.
Yeah, you could have. Yeah.
Kev is with his lady friend for another few days.
The battle we fight.
Whipped. Just you get your lady friend. You can't do podcasts anymore. Shit, it's crazy.
Thanks for having me on, man. It really is fun talking to you guys. Chase is doing a great job. John, as messed up as you are at times, this is a really cool thing you started, man. I think you did it for the right reasons of bringing the boys back together. So appreciate you, man. Dave, you do God's work, my friend.
Dave doesn't do shit.
These guys.